Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the
Baby, friggin' what up, dude? Just posting up right now, dude, in the studio, dude. My friggin', look at this slick on my hair, and let that poof out right there. There we go, dude. Dude, fired up to be on the frickin' mic right now. Fired up to have Aaron on the sticks, dude. What up, Aaron?
What up?
Just chilling right now, dude. Frickin' enjoying myself right now, dude. Been frickin' kicking it with the boys a little bit lately, dude. Been enjoying that, dude. Been talking to them, my boys, Chad and JT, dude. They're on the apps, me and you, dude. I mean, I got my dank ass fiance, dude. You got your freaking dank GFF, dude. Your GF for life, dude. Your GF forever, aka your wife, dude. Dank, dude. Mm-hmm. But dude, so we're men, dude. We're spoken for. We're not doing the apps, but look, dude. I like to hang my hat on the fact that I got some good, solid bro vibes. I like to, sort of kick it with all different sorts of dudes, and I mean, obviously I got my squad, but it's like, I like to have stuff in common, dude. Cut it up, flesh it out. You know what I'm saying, dude? Let's talk. So, there's a lot of times when we go off-roading with the boys, I'll be like, let's pull over and just, be emotionally honest with each other and just, say what's on our minds, And then that honestly makes the back half of that off-road session a little bit better, dude. Crack some freaking energy drinks and cruise. So, but they've been talking, dude, about like being on the apps and like these insane response times and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, dude, it kind of reminds me of Swingers, they're like, when Vince Vaughn and they're telling John Favreau, like, no, a week, you got 7 days. You remember that scene?
Yeah.
Now it's like that's all about a callback, because that's from like early 2000s/90s or whatever that came out.
97?
Is that really 97?
Yeah, I worked on it a little bit.
You worked on that?
In post for Blu-ray.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
I watched the whole movie like 4 times in a day once. It was crazy.
That's a good ass day, dude. I live by the Dresden. I've never been.
I have, yeah.
Because my fiance and I Joe Marisi loves the Dresden. He's like, yeah, I like to put on a dinner coat, just go get a cocktail there. The guy.
It's not COVID safe. It's so crowded.
Oh, it's been closed, dude. I mean, like I
Yeah.
walk up down that street with my dank ass fiance and our freaking dank little pup, and we walk past it. Honestly, we haven't walked past there in a little bit. We've been doing a different route, but at least a month ago it was it's closed. I think they're like doing renos and stuff because it's been there quite some time.
The one time I went with a buddy, Marty and Elaine were still there, but
oh yeah,
they're really getting up there. So I don't know.
Yeah, 97. Like they were old in 97, dude.
Yeah,
it's almost coming up on 30 years. At least 20. But yeah, dude. I mean. So speaking of time, it's like, dude, the boys are having to wait these insane times. And I'm like, everyone, Aaron, talks about, spicing up the relationship in the bedroom, right? We hear that all the time. How do you keep it fresh in the bedroom? I mean, look, dude, I'm a quick buster with a tiny, tiny, tiny little penis. So I'm settled and I'm a finesse bottom. That's my lovemaking style. I can say that now. I have style. Okay. I've come to that point in my life where I have a lovemaking style, and it's finesse bottom. And so in the bedroom, my fiance and we've got each other figured out, dude, and it's nice. And sure, we mix things up, keep it fresh every now and again, you know what I mean, dude? I'll recite, lines from Gladiator, I like to wear some sort of epic, you know what I mean? Maybe reenact the first scene from Troy, and Brad Pitt when he wakes up after having a threesome, and my fiance will play different various roles. She has range, so it's we have fun that way. But then outside the bedroom, how do you spice things up outside the bedroom? Take a vacation, you can get into a hobby together, cooking classes, all fun. Join a gym together, rollerblading, drink Michelob Ultras. I don't know, but I'm gonna try this response time thing, Aaron. And I've been trying it, dude, since talking to my boys. And so basically just running game on my fiance. You know what I mean? Like I've got game. And I think like the whole thing about taking time to respond on the apps is like the whole idea I feel is like, oh, my life is so busy and interesting, and I'm such an interesting, busy person that I wasn't able to like just respond back to you when you said hi. Like it takes me 5 days to do that. So like I'll wait 3 days I landed on 3 days with my fiance. Like, she's like, Yo Strider, she doesn't text, she doesn't say Yo Strider, but she's just like, hey, I'm thinking about trying that Italian place, La Percolita. Do you want to go there with me this week? And then, 3 days later, I'll be like, what up? Yeah, Italian food's tight. And then she's just like, what? What are you talking about? And like, but I'm not giving up, dude. Like, she's even like, hey, can you pick up this prescription for me at the pharmacy on your way back from recording the pod? And then 3 days later, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll go to the pharmacy, but I'm not considering it a date. I'm just going to freaking I'll cruise there. And then she's like, obviously she already just was like, why didn't you pick up that prescription 2 days before that in person? And she's like, I was still supposed to start that Z-Pack this morning. And honestly, like, what's going on? So, but the thing is, like, I think it kind of worked, because the fact that she got frustrated at me like that, she was like, I need to know that I can rely on you. Like, you need to be a reliable partner. And I'm like, you can count on me no matter what. Like, I'm going to be here for you. So I do think that running that game led to an honest and emotional discussion, even though it was rooted in frustration on her part because of me being a little, like, fuck boy. So I guess, like, you could call it like me being a fiance boy. So I think it's working out. She actually texted me that her dad got COVID, and so I haven't responded back yet, but I'm just like cooking up a lie. So I got 3 days to figure out a lie of why I'm not responding. So I'm still sitting in it, because I think I had a beneficial result. She's counting on me. I mean, what am I going to say? Like, it would be very easy for me to be like, sorry, but she needs to realize I'm living a busy, interesting, and tight life, dude. Even though we've been together a decade and she knows everything about me. And we'll talk about it in person when I get home. But I just think, sometimes you just got to keep it fresh like that. Aaron, I mean, you could, if your wife, she texts you like, hey, we're out of diapers, just don't respond, dude. Show up at home. What up? What's going on? Walk in cool.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work. I have had that busy, interesting life. I've been leading that for a long time, and it's not going to fly. Yeah,
it just comes to a point where it's like, just fucking, let's have some accountability here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Are we going to go? We're going to go get an ice cream and talk. Are we going to get coffee? How hard is it to schedule these things? Just let me know. Let me know either way. No gray area. Yeah. But I'm telling you, unless you've been in a relationship a long time, you want to mix it up outside the bedroom. Start running some game on your wife or your fiance. I'll come home late. She'll fall asleep. I'll get fully dressed out of bed, slam the door on my way in, and act like I was out. Where were you? Oh, what? Sorry, I was just I was with the boys. What does that mean? Maybe don't do this. This might be bad. Here's the thing. Part of, I've never referred to myself as a relation guru, but when they do it, I can only take 50% of the credit. To only, half the relation. Honestly, my freaking Dank fiance does a lot of heavy lifting. Sometimes you got to know not what to do. And you know what? I got to be the testing ground for that. So this running game text theory might not be the best. And honestly, the fact that we live together and see each other every day, we usually do talk stuff out. So, but it led to a dank conversation, and I like that. And that's tight. And today we're going to be...
Well, my wife and I did meet on an app, so I was able to advise Chad and JT a little bit.
I forget that you guys met on an app always.
Yeah.
Which app was it?
OkCupid.
Nice. And that's more of a one that's like, people are there to more find relationships and play less games, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what it really comes down to. What platform are you on where you're not playing as many games? We should just do one that's called No Game here. This is the no game zone. People sign up. You have to respond within a certain amount of time. Otherwise you get alerts, or otherwise, like, I don't know, your friend checks on you. Let your friends know that you're not responding. Accountability, dude. How do we get accountability on there?
Yeah, like if you don't respond within a certain amount, like if you don't respond in like 5 hours,
you got to pay them. You got to pay them money.
Or I was going to say your profile's deactivated for a week, but okay.
Yeah. No, money from your wallet, dude. Time is the one true currency, but money will have to suffice if you're not spending your time accurately and you're looking for love. It's got to be a full-time job. It's like unemployment. You know what I mean? freaking last 30 days that you've been texting? Sometimes not. Me, no. I'm running game, dude. I'm running game on my fiance now. So you're going to have to figure me out. I'm going to grow out a beard, maybe a stash. Maybe you just come home with a shaved head. What is that? Sorry, it's just my summer chop. Speaking of summer, dude, this episode is brought to you by Haver Supply. What up, dude? I'm sporting my Dank Haver Supply tee right now, dude. Phys Ed one, dude. And I'm telling you, dude, I'm loving these soft, comfortable, bespoke, dude. It feels freaking straight up bespoke, dude. They got small batch stuff. Means, you know, they're not doing stuff's limited, dude. You got to get stuff while they last, bro. They're just putting stuff out, you know, seasonally. And right now, dude, I got my summer phys ed on right now because, you know, you knock out, you know, you always do the PE class in summer in high school, just get it out of the way. And I've been making gains, dude. And I want to whip this shirt off, but it's just too comfy for me to whip off. So I am getting service in restaurants. But honestly, dude, as soon as I get home, dude, I just whip it off, say what up to my fiance. She goes, nice, good gains. And I put it immediately back on, dude. I'm sleeping in this thing, I'm lifting in this thing, and I'm freaking stoked, dude. So get your freaking your dank freaking Haver Supply shirt, dude. They got vintage tees, they got vintage hats. I'm fired up on them, dude. They're inspired, you know, outdoor living, dude. It's good stuff, dude. Take this out to the beach, bro. And I'm just fired up, dude. So, and guess what, dude? You can get a freaking discount, 20% off your first order with the code DANK at checkout, dude. So cruise over to haversupply.com and enter the code DANK at checkout for 20% off. That's haversupply.com, code DANK for 20% off at checkout. Fired up on this thing, dude. All right, dude. We're going to be talking a little bit of Egyptian history today.
Ooh.
Little Egyptology, dude. And we're going to be looking at it. I don't know much about Egypt. I had a lot of fun learning about it, doing research. And I found a good way into it was through this dude, and we all know his name, Imhotep. You know Imhotep, Aaron.
Sure.
Ever seen a little movie called The Mummy?
Yep.
Yeah, bro. And you got Imhotep is the freaking priest dude who gets awoken, and then he's the bad guy. But in actuality,
decreasing returns in that franchise.
Big time. The third, I don't even think I watched the third. Is it number 2 where they're like in one of those like red tall London buses racing around?
I think that might be 3.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
And then The Rock shows up in 1
2, yeah.
As The Rock, right? Yeah, he's like the Scorpion King or something in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love ancient Egypt aesthetic. It fires me up to go out to the desert, dude. I love thinking of these oases. I love like the curses and stuff. It's such a fun world. Mummification, we'll get into a little bit of the reasoning behind that. But Imhotep was actually like a legit dude. He was like one of the best. He was like basically a Renaissance man before the friggin' Renaissance, dude. And the dude is described as, listen to this, dude. He was an architect who built Egypt's first pyramid, the pyramid at Saqqara, the oldest pyramid. It's more of like a step-looking one. Kind of looks more like a Mayan one. But like, you know, the famous pyramids are the ones at Giza. And those are like the actual, those were like the big pyramid in Giza was the tallest building in the world for like until like the 18th century, Common Era. And it was built like way back in the day. And I can actually get you guys a friggin' date right now in the Giza pyramids. They were built in 2500 BC, but the Saqqara one was built when Imhotep was alive, which was like 1,000 years before that, dude.
Wow.
And this dude is a straight up beast. He freaking...
So he's 3500 BC.
Yep.
Wow.
Let me get you an exact date of when, yeah, dude, like 3500 BC. And that's like when King Menes, no, that's too long back. Because Menes didn't even, he's the first pharaoh who united Egypt, the two kingdoms. And the first pyramid was built 2600 BC. So only 100 years before the big one, the Sphinx and the Giza ones. But he was the first to do it, and that's the oldest one. So when you start with Egypt, you want to usually studying it, you start in the beginning. You would go to the Saqqara temple, or pyramid, and then you would go to the pyramids at Giza and so on. Then you'd go to, Valley of the Kings, where all tons of pharaohs are buried. But Saqqara is the first, and it has like the oldest pharaohs buried there. That was a pyramid built for Djoser. That's who Imhotep served as a visor of, and an architect, and he was like a master of medicines. And in fact, he was even known, Imhotep was even known in Greece and celebrated in Greece for like, he's basically we call, what do we have? Like the Hippocratic Oath, Hippocrates or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like the father of Western medicine. Imhotep was born 2,200 years before him. Imhotep did a ton of surgeries. He did like, he freaking removed abdomens. Like people would get like the side pain and just die because they're, what's it called? The appendix, exactly. Because their appendix would get infected. So appendicitis was killing people. Imhotep removed the appendix. And, you know, some religions wouldn't want to touch the body. And obviously in mummification, like they would remove a lot of the organs, the brain, through the nose and everything, because it was all about preserving the body to gear it up for the afterlife. So anatomy was studied pretty heavily by the ancient Egyptians just because of, you know, their faith and beliefs in the afterlife. But then you got dudes like Imhotep, who's a straight up genius, who was actually born into a regular class. And he freaking just rose up just due to his like just total beast mode knowledge and freaking skills of being like, think about it, the guy's the best doctor, and he's an architect, and he's a freaking political advisor. He's a sage, so he like writes, you know, dank ass poems. He's an astrologer, dude. But like that's like how the first maps were of the stars, so he just posted up and made dank maps. And then so basically, dude, the guy was a jack of all trades and a straight up beast, dude. He founded a school of medicine in Memphis, dude. Fun fact, I didn't know Memphis was a city in ancient Egypt. I just thought it was something in Tennessee, dude.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that tight?
Yeah. It's where the AAA Cardinals are.
Really? What's their squad
The
called?
Memphis Redbirds.
Have I talked to you about that team called the Disco Turkeys?
Yes.
That's pretty wild. I think they're like out in somewhere out there. Maybe not Memphis, but somewhere else. I think it might be because
There's a minor league team this year called the Trash Pandas.
no,
Just raccoons.
that's hilarious, dude. This name's the best, dude. Imhotep's name means the one that comes in peace. So people would travel to see him. He traveled around a little bit to the Greece to straight up freaking share his knowledge, dude. People would like go, oh, there's this dude freaking Imhotep posting up, and he might know how to like help out a king in Greece or something like that. And he would help out obviously the pharaohs of Egypt. And, you know, wealthy people who can afford his surgeries or services or have access to him. And what's interesting is basically everything we find out about Egypt is through, you know, we discover these tombs in the pyramids. And the most famous king, actually, the greatest pharaoh is probably considered Ramses II. And he's the pharaoh who Moses asked, you know, famously said, let my people go to, and then he denied it. So, and then Ramses was his son. Ramses, like pharaohs would take the name. There's like 13 Ramses. There's like 13 Ptolemies. There's like 13 Amenhoteps. There's probably a few Tutankhamons. It was common, and you know, the aristocracy in Egypt would practice inbreeding, and so people would take names, and then like the Ptolemies was the last dynasty, and that's why the Saqqara temple is important, because you have people buried from the very beginning. Not Menes himself; he was, you know, hundreds of years before this first pyramid. I keep saying temple, but pyramid was constructed. But then you have pharaohs leading all the way up to the last dynasty, the Ptolemies, and that's part of like Hellenism. And Alexander the Great, Ptolemy was one of his generals, dude, and he freaking straight up he straight up settles, you know, once Alexander dies, these generals kind of divide the empire, and Ptolemy takes Egypt, and then obviously he's an outsider, but then after time the Egyptians accept him as being a pharaoh, and then a new line of pharaohs. And this is going way ahead. This is like 275 BC, so before Jesus' time, and before, you know, famously when we think of Egypt, we probably all think of like the Cleopatra and the Roman occupation and Mark Antony. And in fact, Cleopatra is part of the Ptolemaic dynasties, and the ladies would take names, like I said, they would practice inbreeding, and the pharaohs would take the name Ptolemy, and then ladies would take like names like Cleopatra, Arisone, Berenice, In fact, Cleopatra had like a very crafty and clever older sister, I think, Arisone. I'm probably saying that way wrong, but she ended up getting beheaded. But anyway, so the Cleopatra we know is actually Cleopatra the Seventh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Great.
pretty wild. But then, back over to Imhotep, this dude just being a straight up beast, bro. He was basically, we haven't found his tomb. People think it's probably at the pyramid that he constructed, but they're still excavating that. I was actually watching this dank ass doc on it right now, the Saqqara pyramid excavation. It's a pretty hilarious documentary. It's so produced, dude. Like, it's so overproduced. I mean, there's no question, like, just the subject matter you're shooting. Like, they take a camera into a tomb and you're like, this is incredible, dude. You see the hieroglyphics and they're like excavating this dude Watier's tomb, and the Egyptologists there who are reading the hieroglyphics, like, it's incredible. Like, they can understand these things so well. And they're like, it like said Watier's name too much compared to the other tombs. And they're like, oh, some dude's brother went in there and stole his tomb and changed his name on the inscriptions. Huh. And you're like, why would you even do that? But for the ancient Egyptians, your tomb was basically setting you up to post up like super dank style in the afterlife. Like, you have, we think of like booby traps and stuff, and there were booby traps to prevent people from, because you would put treasures in there, you put these amazing things in there, and the body was mummified so that the spirit could then occupy it. And there's even false doors, which are traps for thieves, but also a false door where the belief was the spirit could go in and out of it, go into the mummy, activate it, live, read about your family. All the memories and like the drawings on the walls were of good memories from that person, and they could go and live in those moments, and then the spirit could leave the body and then go back to the spirit world through that false door. But then also, there's booby traps so that dudes can't steal stuff. Like in the Valley of the Kings, there's over like 60 tombs, but so many of them were raided, and that's why Tutankhamun, that was discovered in like 1920 or something like that by this British dude, and that was actually a fully intact one. That's why that was such an amazing discovery. And in fact, I think like just recently, like a couple months ago, like there was a huge find in Egypt, and like they did a huge procession of like 19 sarcophagi down like the main drive in Cairo. And that's where the Saqqara temple is I keep saying temple. Saqqara pyramid is like a little bit outside Cairo, like a couple minutes drive. It's pretty crazy. Like, you can be in the city and then just drive into the past, which is pretty freaking legit, dude. Egypt might be one of my bucket list places to go, dude.
Yeah. Have you been to the King Tut exhibit?
You know what? I think they brought it to the Ronald Reagan Museum, and I went and saw it. Part of it, maybe.
Yeah, it's been at Ronald Reagan. It's been at the Science Center at USC. I haven't gone to either one, but I was just curious if you did.
It's amazing. You always see like Nefertiti's bust. And I just go there and talk to my friends. I'm like, bust.
Yeah.
But a bust is just like the shoulder up statue of a noble person or any figure.
The long hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that, the King Tut's sarcophagus with the the gold and all that shit.
Dude, yeah.
I've seen so many photos of it. It's like, I want to see it in person, I guess.
100%. Then you got Steve Martin singing about it, dude. It's on SNL.
Yeah. I just hope it's not like the Mona Lisa where it's like, oh, that thing's like 6 inches tall.
No, I mean, if you see the tomb, like his body's got to be in there. He's probably like, what, 5? People in ancient times were like shorter than they are now.
Well, also he was a boy, so.
Yeah. He's got to be like 5'5" at the least, I would imagine. Maybe a little bit taller than that. And,
the Mona Lisa is not
inbreeding.
actually 6 inches, just so anyone knows. It's bigger than that, but it's small.
Yeah, it's super tiny, and everyone's really crowded, so you can't even get close to it.
Yeah.
And it's like through so much glass because people have like try to shoot it over the years. It's like, easy, dudes. Come on, bros. So Imhotep's one of the only. So we haven't even discovered his tomb, and we know so much about this guy because he was had so much impact on the ancient world that he's been written about in other people's accounts. So he's a beast, dude, because people are taking the time to write about him in Greek culture, obviously Egyptian, and Hittites, and the Numidians, these other cultures that Egyptians were fighting over the years and stuff. He's appeared in other texts, and inscriptions or found things, and papyrus was discovered in ancient Egypt, and he wrote down like he's written down, and they've found this like some of his medicinal practices. Like he would fill teeth. He had performed they would perform brain surgery, like I said, like appendicitis surgeries and other various like healing and herbal medication and stuff like that. So the dude's a straight up baller, dude, and an architect, dude. I mean, he would put any Orange County dad to shame, dude. Like, dads out here are building gazebos or something, dude. He'd be like, oh, one up you and I'll build a straight up pyramid, dude. Plus I'm a doctor, dude. What up, dude? Plus I wrote this sick ass poem, dude. So, I got to imagine Imhotep probably had a very, very fat hog. And he would have not been an evil dude like portrayed in The Mummy. I think he would have been, he helped people. He was a healer, dude. So I think he'd be tight, dude. But, Hollywood's going to do what it's going to do. People say he's an example of the personality cult of Kemet. So Kemet is what means like black earth. And that's due to like the soil, the very fertile Nile soil where Egypt was founded. And so Kemet is how the ancient people refer to their homeland. Like they didn't call it Egypt, they called it Kemet. So in ancient times, ancient Egypt, Kemet, it means black land is what I should say, not black earth. But he was a personality cult. So like they would have, basically if you were a straight up baller like Imhotep was, people would start worshiping you. And there's others examples of this, but Imhotep's the only person who actually was born a dude and then became a deity. And we think, oh man, that's insane. But then you think about this might be controversial. Jesus, right?
Yep.
In Christian faith though, I mean, Jesus was an actual person. There's proof of that. There's written about in many contexts and everything. Whether you believe he's the son of God is a question of faith. And, same with like Imhotep here. He's a healer. And, people talk about this like with like in Roman Catholicism, there's saints. So saints reach this sort of like, they're not gods, maybe like deities, but they are examples of people who, and you're not supposed to worship saints or like, but you can like Catholic, like staunch Catholics will pray to a saint, like Saint Anthony to find someone, Saint Christopher for like travels, or other saints, Saint Raphael or Saint Francis for like animals or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So same thing in ancient Egypt. So you can see like they would pray a lot of times, like I just mentioned Saint Francis, but like they would find at Saqqara giant tombs for cats, and people would go there and there would be a cat that would be treated like one cat that was super pretty, or maybe an albino cat or something like that, would be just like fed all the best food and stuff, and people would go there. And that's why a lot of Egyptian gods have like and cats are specifically like crossovers to like the underworld and stuff, and I don't know the exact symbolism, so I don't want to say anything wrong, but like that's one example of like people call that, like there's some paganism involved in like Kemet religion, and we don't know much about like how Egyptians observed their faith. We do know that they obviously believed in reincarnation with mummification and the spirit and stuff, but like as far as like going to a temple or like they would say like there was probably like priests that would breed cats. So like we would have like dog breeders today, they'd be like, these are some sick ass cats. And then when people would go to the afterlife, or they would like mummify a cat or give like, a lot of the gold to the, bring it to the afterlife to like give to, Anubis or Osiris, probably Osiris, because Osiris was like the god of the afterlife. And he's the one who would like judge you when you die. You would like face like 42 judges, and they would basically determine, okay, each of the 42 judges like stood for one like moral thing, like, oh, there's like the judge of stealing, the judge of lying, the judge of like, did you kill someone, right? And then your spirit or your heart was being weighed. So you would see these, and this is all drawn, this is how they know this, weighed against like the feather of truth on one end of the scale, then your heart. So basically how you would answer to the 42 judges. And if your heart was too heavy, which meant you held onto lies or did bad things, then it would tip the scale down to where like the mouth of this alligator was, then it would eat your heart, and then you were freaking straight up boned in the afterlife, dude. But if you were a good person and lived a morally good life, then your heart would be equal in weight to the feather, and you would have a legit afterlife. So And going back to that doc that I was watching, like Wattier like changed his name to be like Wattier was like a good person. Wattier like he was like trying to like trick the gods or whatever going into the afterlife, which was pretty amazing.
He's like Banksy.
Dude, yeah, he was total Banksy. And dude, they would like, speaking of that, dude, they would have, I want to get into the Valley of the Kings, dude. But real quick, dude, before we do that, dude, I want to talk again about this frickin' Dank episode being brought to you by Haver Supply, dude. Dude, it's a frickin' Dank lifestyle brand tailored to the adventurer, surfer, wanderer, and straight up traveler, dude. Honestly, dude, I'm not a Burning Man, dude, but I'll tell you right now, if I went there, I would wear nothing but this shirt and some probably, honestly, my feet might get hot on the desert, on the playa sand. So I'd probably just wear this shirt and then be naked. That'd be tight, dude. And I'd barter. I'd be like, dude, you want to give a high five? And that flies out there. You know, it's adults only, so it wouldn't be like I'm being nuts. But that's something I would like to do. I like wearing this, dude. It makes me want to just go on a nice road trip with my Dank fiance. It's a good road tripping shirt, dude. Good shirt to put on. You're having a bonfire with the boys, dude. You know, I mean, this thing comes out of the box, and I can already just picture being at the bonfire, posted up, dude, cuddling my Dank fiance, dude. She's nuzzled up on the nice, soft materials here, dude. Dude, and Haver's doing seasonal drops, dude. I can't wait to see what they got coming in the summer, lid-wise, shirt-wise, dude. I'm fired up wearing it, dude. Just having a good time, dude. Their mission is just to promote a freaking lifestyle of chill. And I'm telling you right now, dude, I'm wearing it and I'm freaking chilling in it 24/7, just freaking stoked, dude. Freaking the owner, Brad, dude, what up, dude? Just dropping dank freaking small batch drops, dude. I mean, you know, it's not overproduced, bad quality stuff that's out there. Just know how cool I put my, you know, freaking, you know, like something that you would do for like one of, you know, maybe you'd get one of those shirts for Aaron's softball teams. I'm not ripping on your softball uniforms, Aaron. I'm sorry, dude. They're probably legit, dude. But, you know, you just go get a T-shirt pressed, dude, and, you know, halfway through the season, letters are falling off, dude. This stuff's legit, dude. Small batch stuff, quality material, soft, dude. When I wear these materials, dude, I look in the mirror and I tell myself, and I say this, dude, I go, plush materials, dude. Honestly, dude, it feels like speaking of our Egyptian episode we're doing right now, dude, it feels like some of that like nice Pima Egyptian cotton blend sheets, you know. I'm getting like 1,000 thread count on this puppy right now, dude. So get yours, dude. I got mine. Get yours and get your discount when you do it, dude. Listeners get 20% off. Use your code DANK at checkout by cruising over to haversupply.com and enter the code DANK at checkout for 20% off. That's haversupply.com, code DANK for 20% off at checkout. Do it, dude. You're going to be freaking stoked you did, dude. Yeah, dude. So these tombs in the Valley of the Kings, speaking of Banksy, Aaron, a lot of them are graffitied. And, you know, you would imagine, like, even you go hiking in LA, like, dudes graffiti on rocks by waterfalls. You're like, why are you graffitiing nature, dude? A freeway overpass, I get it. It's man-made. You want to say this is my turf, I get it. But, like, I don't know. Maybe there's a gang out there that's just really into, like, pristine environments. They're like, this is our turf. I want to come here and reflect. And if anyone else does, we'll slit your throat. Like to come out here. And maybe that gang just deals, like, you know, CBD, like chill stuff, instead of like, you know, meth or like ammo or guns, Sons of Anarchy style. That gang's like, dude, their turf is like, you know, the very tip of like the pier, because they like to just go out there and think. So they graffitied out there, or, you know, cruise over to Yosemite and just, you know, maybe like nice wedding venues. There's a gang that just graffitis that, dude. And like, ooh, this is a beautiful vineyard, dude. Psh, graffitied it, dude. I want to have the memory here. If anyone tries to come here, we'll definitely beat your ass and jack your car. So, or you can buy some CBD from us, and maybe, you know, instead of getting jumped in, you just have to be emotionally honest and then go tagging. But these gangs in the Valley of, I shouldn't say gangs, but in the Valley of the Kings, dude, a lot of these tombs have been graffitied on, but from ancient times. There's like Greek and then Latin from the Roman times. There's even Phoenician. Quick little fun note here. So the Phoenicians, phoneticism, that's where we get like the phonetic alphabet from. They're credited with that. In Egypt, they use hieroglyphics. So it would be an image would evoke something that you would know. You'd see a lion, or like then in an action, like, you know, you always think of like the Egyptian like hands walking one way or another. So it's showing you which way you're going. You always like, depending on which way the bird's facing, like with the hieroglyphic, like that's how you read it, like left or right. So there's like you have to be able to decipher and have freaking, you know, straight up esoteric knowledge like the wealthy people had in Egypt. It's what they used to, in every culture, to, you know, keep the plebeians or the commoners in line doing the work. So the hieroglyphics were just symbols, right? You know, it goes back to like petroglyphs on rocks telling a story through image and stuff. And then you have later on the Phoenicians using syllables like sound, dude, phonetics, bro, just straight up, you know, rooted in probably these Greek epic tales and these oral traditions. Probably has something to do with, you know, orators were of great social status and good storytellers. Maybe they were in Egypt as well, you know. I bet you freaking Imhotep wrote some dank ass poems, right? People like to share those, put those on some dank tablets, dude. That's also why oral tradition was so important, because, you know, it's tough to haul around tablets. It's like, you know, you get the printing press. It's easier to print, you know, tons of copies of the Bible. Otherwise, you'd have to have traveling preachers do it, right? You'd have to have a dude like Imhotep going around talking about, like, you know, the Kemetism, which actually is having a resurgence. Did you know that, Aaron? There's a resurgence of the ancient Egyptian religion, like in the 80s. There was this lady, I forget her name, but she, like, you know, was doing like Wiccan rituals, and then she said in one of her rituals she felt like she like was in contact with many gods of ancient Egypt, and then went to Egypt, and like, this is all like in the late 70s, early 80s, and like became like a vessel to speak from like the gods of like I forget, like Thoth is one of them. I forget what hers was exactly. Maybe it was Anubis, but anyway, it's making a comeback, dude. Pretty wild stuff.
I just assumed you meant that the lady was named Susanna Hoffs, lead singer of the Bangles.
Wait.
Walk Like an Egyptian.
Dude. She's freaking just posting up, dude.
Yeah.
That's who sings that song. Walk Like an Egyptian. Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
I don't think they wrote it, though. I think someone else wrote that song.
Oh, really?
For them. Yeah.
It's always tough when you find out when a hit like wasn't written by them. There's just something to that, you know?
Yeah, it's more prevalent than you think. A lot of Bon Jovi's biggest hits were written by some other dude.
Really?
Yeah, like this amazing songwriter.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Rasputins of the industry, dude. Freaking beast. Imhotep was somewhat of a Rasputin himself. He was never a pharaoh, but like was a visor and probably made freaking fire-ass calls, you know?
And his dick is in a jar somewhere.
You know it is. It's in his temple. It's probably, yeah,
Sure.
for sure. It's preserved. I bet you when they pull that, I bet he has a separate sarcophagus for his fat hog, dude.
Yeah.
And then his spirit just goes in there, dude. Gets freaking fat wood, and then cruises around in his tomb. I hope when they find his tomb, dude, that it's not been raided or graffitied by any, like, you know, Latin dude, Roman dude. So, yeah, dude, it's just interesting, like, map over of Imhotep and how somebody, and then, you know, thousands of years later, then you have Jesus, and this is some controversial stuff, but like people rising from man to deity, and it's is Imhotep the first example of that? A cool essay question. If you're trying to do an essay, and or if you're trying to make your mom mad at dinner, bring this up, dude. Say, oh yeah, dude, what about Imhotep? I'm gonna become a Kemet. Kemetism, dude, and you know, go do that. But honestly, I'm not knocking on it. Hey, life's tough, dude. Higher powers, dude. They honestly think, you know, maybe there's, with Kemetism, like, is it a monotheist or polytheistic religion? Because like, there's like, I think the god Anubis, every other deity is like a branch off from him. So it's like, oh, technically, is it a monotheist? But then even with Catholicism, like, it really might be dualism, because it's, you have God, of course, but then there's the devil, an evil thing, and that's two deities, right? So something interesting to think about there. Dude, just putting thoughts in your dome right now, dude, so you don't have to think about stuff at work, dude. This is something where you'd want to, you know, maybe get jumped into that gang that I was talking about that likes to tag nature, and, you know, maybe you got to bring some good thinking pieces, and you guys take some CBD with maybe a small amount of THC in there, and you just ask that, you know, you posit questions like that, dude. What is monotheism? What's the benefits of it, dude? Why was that spread as opposed to polytheism, dude? You know, is it the intersection of friggin' economics, politics at the time, the ruling class? It's interesting to talk about, dude. But I'm just interested to talk about Imhotep being a straight up baller, dude. He actually lived a rather long life, I think like into his 50s. And they don't know where he is. They just don't know. Probably Saqqara, not the Valley of the Kings, not at Giza. I mean, they really don't know what the purpose, like there's a lot of conspiratorial theories on what the Giza pyramids are meant for. Like they exist on a plane like that's mapped up with the stars, which makes sense because, you know, now we can say, oh, but you have to think about Earth, you know, when that was made close to 5,000, when was that? Yeah, almost pretty close to 5,000 years ago. It's interesting, dude. It's fun to talk those conspiracies, but I think maybe they're just like burial complexes, and you know, you would have pharaohs would commit their lives to, basically it's to being preserved for eternity. You have a culture that has a faith-based or something-based affinity with the eternal. And Imhotep's name is eternal, and we haven't even found his tomb yet. So he did a great job. I think that's a takeaway here, is just be a good dude, give back. I mean, spread knowledge. That's the way to really achieve, to live forever, right? Spread knowledge, and maybe bone too, if you want your seed to go on. That always helps too, just bone and create life. But then, you know, you have these underground temples, and we know these names thousands and thousands of years later. I always think if the ancient Egyptians saw like us excavating their tombs and they're like, oh, these are the schmoes doing it, it's just like some dudes. You know, do you think that they thought, I think that's what the conspiracy comes in, like, do you think they thought like gods would come down and see their tombs? But I don't think so. I don't think they ever planned on the tombs being excavated. I think they planned on them just based on the doc that I watched and stuff, of like making them very, very legit and nice for an eternal life in the tomb, not really to be found.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They were untouched for a while.
Mm-hmm. For long times, and that's why how we're able to know quite a bit about their culture and these people and do DNA testing, because the mummification process works very, very, very well.
What if they couldn't find Imhotep because he's just busy chasing Brendan Fraser around?
Dude, I think that's probably it. He's probably in London right now, just and dude, he probably wants to just, you know, he's trying to freaking woo a Noxinamun.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get it. She was a Sports Illustrated model.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's also like the way they, like, he would look like, that's, you know, that movie came out in like what, 99, so it's very Hollywood casting, like, and the guy does a good job, that actor as Imhotep, like he crushes it.
Arnold Vosloo.
Yeah, what a great character actor, but like Imhotep would have looked like an Egyptian dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
would not have looked like that, dude.
Russian or something.
Yeah. All right, dude, hell yeah. Let's get into some freaking cues, dude, and then cruise out, dude. So Imhotep, dude, a fun, you know, when you're researching something new to you that you don't quite know, I find, like, you know, finding a fun figure, or, you know, that's what's dank about movies like The Mummy, dude. I knew that name, and I'm like, all right, tight, let me just go on this guy. Went on a fun little rabbit hole through Egypt, dude, and got stoked on it, bro. So, you know, hopefully you got stoked on learning a little bit about Imhotep, a little bit about, I didn't know that Egypt was called Kemet, dude. I didn't know that. I didn't know about the resurgence of Kemetism in the 80s and maybe even to today. And, you know, it's legit, dude. So fired up on the aesthetic, dude. I want to travel there with my freaking dank fiance, dude. All right, dude. Freaking what up, Strider, you absolute fucking legend. Also tell Aaron I say what up too. I happen to be chowing down on some Five Guys as we speak.
Nice.
Oh, we wrote this email. Very nice. The past few weeks have been rough for me. I've taken to dating apps ever since the Q-teen started and been going at it pretty hard since then. I'd say on average I'm hooking up with 3 or so girls a week, which is racking up quite the body count. Now I want to preface this by saying I'm a pretty picky guy when it comes to choosing a lady to bed. So obviously all these girls are pretty fucking hot. This guy, dude, Joe Marisi, I would love it to have him on here. All right, dude, let's see his problem now. Okay, so here's my problem. I'm worried about getting an STD. I've been with well over 50 women. I've lost track at this point. I need to find a way to slow myself down.
Bride.
Yeah, exactly, dude. What makes things worse is they always beg me to go raw. No, dude. This guy, okay, is this a prank, dude? Oftentimes the request I get, okay, this is getting too blue. All right, dude. you got your only problem here is you got to grow up. I think that's about it. I'm going to keep him anonymous too, dude, for your own benefit. But dude, come on. He says, oh yeah, his problem is, oh dude, his buddy wants him to delete the apps, but he just can't. He's just like loves getting laid on him. How many dude friends does this guy have, you think?
Nothing but.
Yep. And probably not even that many. Like, he's probably making new friends a lot. If you're making new friends a lot, look out. You got to have your squad. Nothing wrong with making new friends. That's what I'm saying. But if you're always like, oh, this is my new friend. You guys are like good buddies for 3 months. And then like you get to know, like he gets to know you. And then you have to find a new friend. You got to start looking in the mirror, dude. And yeah, use a rubber. Stop. Don't brag via email to me about this. You know, I'm sorry, dude, that I'm coming down a little bit hard on you right now, but dude, it's just, you know, honestly, if I was your dad, dude, you know what I would say about this, dude? It's unacceptable, dude. This is just straight up unacceptable. It's a straight up dad word right there, dude. When you say this is unacceptable, this email in your behavior, it's unacceptable, dude. Clean up your act, okay? You know, some dudes are maybe not meant to be in relationships. You know, it's not in their nature. Maybe this isn't in his nature, but you just make sure that you're looking out for the health of others and yourself. So always wrap it up. I don't believe that these girls are requesting that you don't. I don't believe that. Maybe one did. Of the quote 50. Pff. It's one a week, dude. Nah. And he tried to say 3 a week. Nah, dude. Nah, dude. You know what I got to say to that? You know what my advice is, dude? Nah, dude. Yo, Strider, I have a moral dilemma. Me and my boys blazed out of a crab shell. My parents we're doing a crab dinner party, and we gnawed on some tasty legs, but when we were done, we snuck off and we hollowed that puppy out and blazed out of it. Was that bad to do? Anonymous, please. I mean, you know, the Egyptians wouldn't be happy with that. They would want to mummify it and put it in the afterlife. But I think, I mean, I don't know. This goes back to like eating meat. Like, is it, you know, what's the morality behind eating crab, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, I eat meat, I eat fish, but maybe 100 years from now, people are going to look back and be like, that's barbaric, right? They already have crab with a K when you get freaking sushi. I see that on the menu when I'm out with my dank fiance. What do you think, Aaron? Was this a morally bad thing to do?
Smoking out of a crab?
Yeah.
No.
They already ate it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they killed a crab and then blazed out of it.
Kill something to blaze out of it.
Yeah. I think,
if anything, I think what you owe the world karmically is you now have to get a crab high.
Yeah, you got to exhale around some crabs, dude. That's a good call. Or, you know, put a little hot dog on a string and, you know, when you go crabbing or whatever and just let them eat it and then chill. But yeah, I think because, you know, the meal was already eaten and like, what are you going to do with the legs? You're going to throw it away. So you're essentially, I suppose, using it for another stoke-inducing moment. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, any damage was done. The crab was already latered.
Yeah.
So... and eaten, and you know, maybe I'm imagining a king crab leg. I would imagine that the blazing didn't go too well. I don't know if it could sustain the heat. Maybe they used. I'm trying to picture how you would do that, but I guess I could kind of see it. In any case,
it is kind of like using all of the buffalo, though.
Yeah, exactly. You know who else uses all of the buffalo? The buffalo. That's always my favorite comeback to that.
I'm sure,
but. I do agree. It's like, it's very atrocious. Like when you see people, you know, poachers. Poaching's the worst. You know, that's what you want to avoid. Killing an elephant and taking a tusk, like this big mythical thing. Anybody who does that it's beyond me. What draw? I mean, obviously it's money and I guess like, you know, it's economics, but you know they get off on shooting those big things. You don't just like get into poaching, dude.
It's also never a scenario where the elephant has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the chicken shittiest thing about it.
If you're hunting, dude, you got to use a bow or a knife.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or maybe a single shot rifle or something. You got to have some skill to it, dude. Set a trap. Even for that, if you know how to set a trap, that's tight. Let's do another one, dude, then we'll bone out of here, dude. Strider, what up? I want to get a dog, but mainly so I can run game with it. Oh, what's going on right now? Is it hard to take care of a dog? I want something fierce like a husky or a fucking German shepherd. My mom can watch it too, but basically I want to train it to be chill, and so when I go on walks, I can whip my shirt off and play frisbee and spark up combos with hot ladies. Is this a good or a bad call? I mean, I know it's a good call, but can I handle it? I'm 18. Thank you, Tanner.
I'm going to go ahead and say no, you can't handle it.
You're 18, dude. No, you can't take care of another life. You can barely watch your own life.
Yeah.
2, yeah, any plan where you're like, my mom's going to heavily be helping me in this plan is not a good plan.
Yeah. They're also some of the most energetic dogs on the planet.
Yeah, you need a yard.
Yep.
But don't get me wrong. I do understand having an icebreaker and a dog.
Sure.
I'll tell you right now, since I got a dog, I'm talking to everyone. Old dudes, ladies, freaking everyone, dude. You get a dog, people like talking about dogs. People like to come up and say hi to your dog. So, in theory, you are correct. If you get that dog, people will talk about it. You know, especially if you get a German Shepherd might not be like, maybe in a few years when you're 28, dude, and maybe you've gone to grad school and so you can afford a backyard or something like that, or even a nicer apartment. I don't know if I'd recommend a husky, depending where you live.
I wouldn't start there. That's for sure. I'd go small rescue dog.
Yep.
Maybe don't know what it is. Maybe part dachshund. Work your way up. Like your first dog should not be the hardest.
I agree.
Should not be a killer potentially.
Totally. Yeah, German Shepherd's going to be a tough one. I mean, they're intelligent, they're smart, and with that intelligence is like, oh, it's great, but like that means you need to train them and really have a relationship with them. The intelligent beings need stimulation for their minds. So you can't have, a dog that's, a little bit more dull or whatever. It's probably going to be a good chill dog. You know what I mean? It knows how to sit, knows when to come. If you want to teach it to roll over, whatever, like it can do those things. A German Shepherd, like, needs to really be trained, needs to like get out, run. So yeah, I would say right now, definitely hold off on all dogs. Maybe get yourself a hamster, dude. Or a lizard, bro. Or a fish. Honestly, dude, you want a conversation starter? Go to a coffee shop with a fish tank and sit down. People are going to be starting conversations about you with themselves, not necessarily with you, but so technically you will be starting conversations, but just about you.
You will not be involved.
Yes, you will not. No one will be speaking to you. But here's what you do. Hot day. You put on all black, 3 pieces, put on a coat too, go to a coffee shop and just sit there and drink a latte. No, get a tiny espresso shot and just observe your fish. People, that's a conversation starter. You don't got to worry about watching a dog, and your mom doesn't even need to help you with that. Honestly, you bring your mom with you. And then you're going to go on a killing spree because you're a serial killer if you do that. All I'm saying, though, my dude, Tanner, hold off on the dog, bro. My fiance and I, we love having a dog, but I got to tell you, dude, it's a lot of work and it's an adjustment, and you're only 18, so you're going to go to, what are you going to do? I imagine you're going to go to college. What are you going to put a German Shepherd in your dorm? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You know what you need to do, though? Maybe train that German Shepherd to attack that dude from the first conversation, from the first question today, dude. That guy, dude. Oh, dude, chicks are just begging me, dude, that I shouldn't be wearing rubbers, dude. Oh, dude. Imagine just every question. Oh, dude. This guy, dude. Oh, dude. Went to the dentist, dude. Dude, my dental hygienist, dude, she wanted me, dude. She just kept like, dude, she's all close to me, dude, like cleaning my mouth, dude. She wanted me, dude. Like, no, she was doing her job. This guy believes every chick, dude, wants me. How does someone get that thought in their mind? Growing up, I thought every girl had wanted nothing to do with me. My whole mission in life was to be like, hey, I'm not a creep. Because, you know, I'd have horny thoughts. So I didn't need to, like, be very nice to be like, hey, I'm not having any horny thoughts. I'm a very nice guy. So I'd go out of my way to be, like, extra nice. But then you get these dudes who are like, yeah, I'd eaten up. I'm just wanted. I don't know how that happens. Must be genetic, dude. Has to be innate. It's crazy. I think a blend. There should be some sort of Goldilocks condition between myself and the dude from the first question. Anyway, dude, that's it, dude. We learned a little about Imhotep, dude. Freaking dank little tour through ancient Egypt, dude. The Kemet, as it was called by the ancients themselves. Fired up, dude. Just the man of many freaking hats, dude. Imhotep just posting up, dude, being a doctor, an architect, a freaking straight up poet, dude, and a chiller, dude. Anytime someone can say you are a poet, then that's when you reach like legit status. You know what I mean? Like everyone's tried writing a poem when they're a little bit, I mean, Aaron, come on, dude. Admit it, dude. Sure. You know, you tell me you're in traffic. You just try writing a poem one time. Maybe you email it to one friend and they don't get back to you because they're like, this was horrible. I'm just going to say it went to my junk box if they're a good friend, you know? So anyway, Imhotep did it. The dude did it thousands of years ago, and we're still talking his name today. So in any case, dude, if you need a little inspiration or how to, you know, be a healer, be an architect, be a straight up visor, dude. Be a visor, bro. And that's how you're going to go through life and, you know, better society, dude. Leave places better than they came, dude. So then you found them. I think Imhotep did that. So fired up, dude. You guys freaking stay stoked. We'll catch you on the freaking next ep. Write in with questions, comments, concerns, anything, corrections, all that type of stuff, dude. StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com, dude. Alrighty, later, dude.